Hi everybody and welcome back to our ABC Disney channel. I'm excited to share another really fun Disney project with you today. Today we are going to be making a little Olaf craft from the Disney movie Frozen. And for this project, go ahead and refer to the materials page online. That has all the materials listed out that you're going to need for this project. To start, to make our Olaf body, we are going to need a toilet paper roll, which hopefully this is something that you can find around your house. If not, actually what I did for this one is I actually used a paper towel roll, which was taller, and I actually just cut it in half to make it the size of a toilet paper roll. So that's going to be the base of the body for Olaf. And then the second thing that we're going to need to put together our Olaf body, as you can see, he is the color white. So what I would recommend doing is grabbing a white sheet of paper. So it's just a plain white piece of paper. And then what we're going to be doing is we're actually going to be wrapping our paper towel or toilet paper roll with paper to make it that white color. So to start, we're going to do that step first. So what I would recommend doing is lining up your toilet paper roll with the top of the piece of paper. And what we can do is we can roll it around so we can see how much paper we're going to need. And then what we can do is we can cut it straight across. So try to cut a straight line across. And then this piece of paper we don't really need right now, so we can just put that to the side. But for now, we have this smaller piece of paper that we can actually wrap around our toilet paper roll. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the top of the sheet of paper with the top of the paper towel roll. And then what I'm going to do is to make it stick, we need something to hold it in place. So what I would recommend doing is grabbing either a glue stick or tape. Either works, whatever you have around your house would be great. For this part, I think I'm going to use tape just because then there will be no dry time. So what I'm going to start with doing is placing one piece of tape right, it's kind of halfway through the piece of paper and halfway through on the toilet paper roll. So that kind of holds everything in place so I could let go and it'll stay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just roll this around until the entire toilet paper roll is covered. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second piece of tape to hold that last part in place. So I'm just going to add one more piece of tape, and now my toilet paper roll is covered. If you look at your toilet paper roll, there may be a little bit of extra paper at the top or at the bottom. What we can do is, mine's a little bit at the top, so we can take our scissors and we can make one slight cut downwards, and then you can cut around the outside, which will then kind of just even it up with the top of the paper towel roll. So I'm just going to even that up really quick. Okay, so now I have our toilet paper roll is covered with paper. So I'm going to just take my scraps and just set these to the side, and I'll recycle those later. The next thing we're going to need to do is, if we look at Olaf here, he's got a few extra things that we need to add. So the next part we're going to do is we're actually going to cover his face. So what I did is I'm actually going to use an Olaf face template, which makes it really easy. This template can be found online on your Google Classroom. So underneath this project, this will be a part of the printable materials. So you can totally just print it out. If you don't have access to a printer and you'd rather just draw a face, you can do that as well and just use like a marker or a pencil. But for this, I'm going to use the printed out face. I'm also going to use my scissors to just cut around Olaf's face. The good thing is his face was printed on white paper, the same paper that this paper is that we wrapped around the toilet paper roll. So you could kind of just cut like a big circle around Olaf's face. And then when we glue it on, it'll match pretty well because it's the same color. So to attach Olaf's face, I'm actually going to use my glue stick just because I think that will lay a little bit more flat. But again, if you have tape and you'd rather use tape, totally use your tape. That works just as well. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the back of Olaf's face, and I'm going to just paste it right on. I'm going to make sure that the crease where the tape to the back of the roll is the back of Olaf so that we don't see that. So I'm going to put it right on the opposite side and just paste it down towards the top of the paper towel roll. And that is going to be kind of like his head. So if you can see there, now we've got his face, which is perfect. The next part we're going to do is it looks like he's got some arms on the side there. So there's a couple different options for arms. What I did, since it's a nice day out, I went out into my front yard and I found a couple little sticks. It might be kind of hard to see. They're just really thin little sticks that I just found outside. If you go outside and you make a real snowman in the snow, usually people use sticks as arms, so I just thought it might add like a little fun, extra little dimension to our Olaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just tape these to the back, very similar to how his body is shown here. So one arm up, one arm down. And I am using glue, or I'm going to use tape for this one. If you have something like hot glue, you can definitely use hot glue. I think it would be really hard for the glue stick to hold this. So if that is your only option, and you only have a glue stick at home, that's totally okay. You could always make arms that are made out of paper as well. So you could either use white paper and color them brown like sticks. Just cut out 2 strips of paper and tape them onto the back or glue them. Or if you have brown paper, you could just cut little arms out of paper as well. So it's up to you. Whatever you have on hand will work just fine. So as you can see, I've gotten my first arm on Olaf. I'm going to go ahead and attach the second arm with our tape. I'm going to do this one facing downwards, very similar to how our example shows. Okay, and then now that I see it in the front, I'm just going to kind of adjust it a little bit. And here is our Olaf with his arms. Super cute. Okay, so if we look back at our picture, we need to still add his little sticks on top. And also his buttons on front. So what I'm going to do, just to kind of show you guys that the brown paper works just as well as sticks, I'm going to go ahead and just cut a couple really thin pieces of paper to be like his hair or the sticks that are on top of Olaf's head. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to cut these out just to kind of show you. So I did 3 slits connected at the bottom like this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to attach them to the inside of the top of the paper towel roll. So then it'll look like his hair. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to use my tape for this. So I'm just going to place it right inside and add 1 piece of tape to kind of hold it in place. It's kind of hard to do because it is inside of a paper towel roll, so if you need any help, ask somebody who might be available at your house to help. Here we go. So I've got his little hair attached, if you can kind of see that up top. So then the last thing for us to add are his buttons in the front. So sometimes when you make a snowman, you put little buttons on the front. This is optional, but it's kind of a fun piece that kind of makes Olaf, kind of completes the look. So what you can do is either use pom-poms. If you have pom-poms, I got a few to show as an example. They're just these little puffy cotton balls basically. So you could glue those on the front. But what I'm going to do for the sake of the video, in case you don't have pom-poms at home, is I'm going to show you that you could just use a marker or a pencil or paint, whatever you have available, and it works just as well. So I'm just going to do 3 dots right below his face to act as those buttons on the front. You can make them as big as you want. You could also make them any shape you want. So you could make them circle, you can make them triangle, you can make them square. It's totally up to you. This is your project, and it can be any color you want them to be too. So make this project your own. You could even make multiple of these. So you can make a couple of them. You could give them away as gifts. They could be decorations in your room, whatever you'd like. So this is the final product. So we've got Olaf here. Thank you guys for joining me for another Disney video. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye.